Welcome to Blue Apple Tree Animation vlog number 10. Believe it or not, I just recorded 23 minutes. My laptop was closed and there was no sound. So we're doing it again. Where have I been the last month and a bit? I've got a new job, so I've been very busy. But I've still been working on Blender on the weekends, and it's Monday, so I worked after work from 6 until now, and I wanted to share my progress and share what I'm working on. Hopefully, if you're listening to this, you've checked out my other vlogs. You know I've been learning Blender for not quite a year yet, but almost a year now. I've been learning Blender. Want to make a cartoon. I've created 3 what I find to be cute characters, a bear, a duck, and a fox. You can take a look at my other vlogs, take a look at the progress. I was going to make a short cartoon with those 3 characters, and I still am, but I was on Pinterest, and as you can see by the image on the screen here, which is now moving around, I found this picture of some sort of blue ghost, a little sphere with with a dress. Or for you a few or 5 wings or 6 wings below it, and I said that's a good looking character and I'd like to model it. I was watching a YouTube video by a creator called Comfy Mug, and he created this cool blue slime shader. So I saw that shader that he created, I saw this ghost, and I saw the different expressions of the ghost, and I've been really into rigging, and I said, I gotta try this. And I started this about a month before I started my job, and I thought to myself, oh, I'll hammer this ghost out before I start my job and do a fun little animation, it'll be easy. Well, I found love. Ladies and gentlemen, I found love with this little ghost. And it's become sort of another character in my cartoon. So now instead of a trio, we have a quadro of characters, a bear, a duck, a fox, and a ghost. And Lord, I gotta stop at 4. But let me just share what I've done so far with this character. So this is an earlier file here. This is just me working on the character. I worked on the character a few different versions. My idea was to model the character in such a way where I sort of was planning out how I was going to rig it as I was modeling it. So my technique I kind of came up with is doing a basic sphere here with a circle of teeth inside. It'll allow the freedom of mouth shape and expressions I'm looking for that was in the concept that I found on Pinterest. As I've done before with a few other characters, I'll use a Boolean as a mouth. You probably saw a blue man I did a while back on one of my videos. Basics concept, we have a little Boolean slashing through the shape, cutting open the mouth. It'll give you the freedom to place the mouth, anywhere on the character when it comes to rigging. And the round section of teeth will allow me to kind of move the teeth freely and open his mouth as big as he needs to get. Like my duck, fox, and my bear, I love these like cartoony dot eyes. I want to do them again. So I've kind of redesigned those in a way that I think is pretty fun. Am I going to go back and rebuild my bear, duck, and fox eyes? I'm not, because I think they give me what I need for those characters. But this character, the idea is he's a ghost. He can bend, stretch, move in any shape he wants. I always said he could probably eat something twice his size, Open his mouth up and crunch down on a watermelon in one bite. So I want that flexibility of the character, so I've kind of designed him with that in mind, with some kind of really fun, playful animations. And I think because it's essentially a bouncing ball with wings, hopefully animations that I can pull off that look pretty good. So I'm looking forward to animating this character and getting into it. So we're going to write this out now because we're actually done the modeling phase, because for the last month I've been working on the side. So I've actually kind of started the rig. I'm just going to pop in here and get into the rig. And at the end of this video, I do have a little bonus that I would like to share. Something about the future of this channel. A first for the channel, if you will. But I'm gonna hold that off because I've watched YouTube videos, and when people say they're gonna tell you something at the end, maybe you'll stay to the end and watch. We'll see. Anyways, let's load up where we're at right now with the character. Basically, it's the process is going well. I've got his wings rigged, IKFK. There's my IK, which stands for, obviously, you might not know what that means, inverse kinematics. Essentially means I have one control, it'll drag the wings along with that control. And FK is forward kinematics, which essentially means you have control of each section of the wing. So I can move each section of the wing like this. And kind of get the shape. And each wing has, obviously, its own little bone set up in there. And what actually I worked on last weekend was this sort of toggle. Instead of having a controls on a properties bone here, which actually do exist, these are the controls to toggle the wings control modes. I actually connected them to a visual UI. So I designed this lock here, and this lock basically allows you to toggle. So when it's unlocked, essentially it means that you're free to control the wings with forward kinematics. When it's locked to the controls. So it's locked to all these controls here. It's locked to your main control, and you control them all at once like this. And also each individual wing has its own control that you can pull. And also within your mode here like this, if you needed individual control of a wing, you can unlock it and it reverts to the controls we had earlier. These bones here that you kind of pull on. And each wing can be taken into that mode. And you can control whatever wings are left turned on or locked, as I use the UI for, then it follows as done. But this is a master control here, so if you unlock this, all the wings unlock and go into the unlocked mode. If you lock this, you basically get your wings back to the previous way you had them before. So you have to go back in and lock them back in individually. But again, this is the master. I was pretty happy with this little lock. Took me a little bit to figure out how I would do this, all these basically toggles are controlled by expressions based on the Y position of this lock, or drivers as they're called in Katana. And then, of course, we have a basic body setup of the character. I won't go into too much detail. You got your basic body setup of the character. He's a floating ball, but he can move his head. Let's do that. He can move his head. As you can see, his teeth are crashing out because I have not rigged his teeth yet. What else? And again, I plan on doing some toggles and controls for all these around his body too. He can move his little body there. He can move his little ghost hips. And if he moves them backwards, you can see he moves them backwards. His little ghost hips follow. Good for his little ghost flying there. They'll eventually be doing. You can also tell his hips to move and tell that not to follow. So you could see his legs will always point down. And again, I need an interactive control for that somehow, but I'm still kind of in the process of designing. So see, you can move his hips and his legs stay pointing down. And it all works in each control mode. All those settings, they work in every control mode. So I think that's all we want to talk about with the rig. It does a few other things, and once I'm done the rig, I'll do a whole rig walkthrough where I'll hopefully show everything off and go into way too much detail, and probably spend just as much time explaining everything, maybe more. If you're into that sort of thing, you can watch it. Of course, we have our teeth here. Let's go into the Blue Ghost. Let's go into his groups. I try to stay as organized as possible. I'm just gonna hide his teeth, keep his sharp teeth, remove the low sharp teeth. And we have his mouth. We're just gonna bring that back on because he has a tongue. There we go. There's his tongue in there. So we'll go back into pose mode. Let's have a little more fun here. Again, tongue and mouth isn't rigged, but you can see you can have a lot of fun in there. I'm actually quite proud of the mouth, even though it's not rigged. I used a Boolean system for the mouth, which I experimented with before on another character who was, by coincidence, also blue. A blue man. I think I had a vlog about him a while back. Let me just go to the controls. Let's just hide all the controls. And let's hide the root. There we go. Let's hide the properties. And I'm going to go and I'm just going to make my mouth controls visible. The tweaks that I have, the mouth tweaks. So the mouth here, to basic bean mouth. Of course, yeah, or G, that's right. Okay. So if you're bean mouth, as you can see, you can get some nice I tried to do symmetry. I guess symmetry is not working on this rig. Oh, probably because I have bad naming on my things. You can see right 03, right 02. So there's some things to clean up. But as you can see here, a lot of control points in the mouth. It's going to be real fun to rig, real fun to get in there and make the rig do what I want it to do. Get some good faces, eat that giant watermelon at the end of the day. I'm also pretty happy with cool feature here. I actually have this geometry node setup, which basically is allows the Boolean to sort of seal up when the controls get close. So you can actually kind of seal up your mouth, and you can have good control over shapes on the side here. And if you wanted to, let's just try and do this. Let's close. Oh, it's not going to work until I go to bounding box. Okay. If you close it up like that, you see it seals, it lip locks quite nicely with the Boolean. And again, you can see you really get some, you can get that those nice ooh shapes in there. You can see once I get this rigged, I think I'll be able to hit a lot of really cool mouth shapes, really appealing shapes. He's got one tooth in the middle now. So there's your boo ghost shape. So Yeah, that's the mouth rig. I'm pretty happy with this. Well, the mouth sort of rig move points. The mouth will be rigged eventually, and hopefully we'll have another cool setup with lots of cool features on it that I'm planning on doing. And that's it. That's pretty much where we're at. So this character's in process. Work is busy, but I do plan on doing another vlog update at some point. Oh yeah, and the sort of surprise at the end of the video was I was actually quite proud of myself. This is kind of silly because I'm probably pretty basic rigging, but I thought this lock was pretty cool. I like the fact that you could do an interactive UI of a locking was pretty cool. It took me a bit to figure out how to do it. I kind of thought I wanted to do it. I was like, how am I going to do this? Very simple way. I'm going to do tutorial, and I'm going to do hopefully what is a under 10-minute tutorial teaching how to set this up. It's a very simple setup. I'm going to record that video next, and I'm going to post it along with this vlog. So get ready for the first Blue Apple Tree tutorial. Thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure recording for the second time tonight. Have a great night, and I'll see everybody soon. Any comments below, throw them down there. I don't have any followers. It's kind of just a hobby project. So if you're interested in what I'm doing or you want to ask any questions, I totally want to nerd out about Blender and, you know, what have you. So yeah, that's all. Have a great night, and thank you once again.